Welcome in, guys. MTG Game State. I'm here with Pack Boys Nation out here. We got kind of a more heady talk on the MTG article side, and then our finance side is more kind of, I'd say, penny to $5 bulk rares. So we're going to get into that in just a second. Switching it off right now. Okay, so we're here. I wanted to talk about, I know some of my peoples, you guys know maybe more about Magic besides the game. I want to talk about things about the design. And current head of design of Magic cards, I believe, is Mark Rosewater. I mean, I should know this already, but just going off the top of the dome. We're here on MTG Wiki, which is a good site. I'm also in the Discord. Buzz Lightyear. So basically, I don't want to go over it like in too much depth. I kind of inquire you all to check the link in the description of the video and really peruse the wiki and click the hyperlinks so you can understand what we're talking about here. But design of Magic cards is really interesting. It's kind of what draws some people into playing the game, even if they're not aware of design mechanics themselves. When they first pick up the game, there's something about certain colors and certain functions of cards that like attract people to wanting to keep losing a lot from their friend who knows a lot more than them to keep playing, you know? So there's there's levels to this shit basically. And in the 7 stages of design, there's task, exploratory design, just read here on the right. There's the old system of design, there's Divine, and the old system was originally distinguished by Mark Rosewater in 3 distinct stages. In the main phase, the vision stage, which took 6 months, the integration stage, which took 3 months, and the refinement stage, which took 3 months. Apart from the head designer, each design team ideally consists of a lead designer, a strong second, a developmental representative, a creative rep, fresh blood, and a file keeper. Roles were sometimes combined into one person. And then Divine is, it's probably some corporate heady design term for structural development and design of cards. So probably like the structural development of a card within the flavor of its setting and then the mechanics of its color. So it's probably some, it's an early stage of development that was taking by the big swings. Many of the card designs I'm reading the middle of the article, let's do it, folks. Many of the card designs handed over, let me know in the comments, handed over the initial handoff would not make the final version of the set, and many more would get tweaks, such as casting cost, power toughness, or activation cost. So basically, Divine is just probably like a late stage form in the old school form of design, where they just were like, hey, we're gonna tweak this before we really put this out on the printer. Or even if it is on the printer, maybe they're fixing shit right there, you know. The current system, realizing that design and development had been created as a system between 2 teams that had too little interaction with one another, a new system was created starting with Dominaria. Design now has 4 component pieces: the exploratory design, the vision design, the set design, and the play design. So vision design is basically where they just kind of get together and like think about like the flavor of the world is, what the cards might be, mechanics possible, just kind of like throw everything at the wall. And then design handoff, when the lead vision designer passes the set off to the set design, he also creates a handoff document. This document is the guide that set design team, who was formerly the development team, can refer back to throughout the design process. You can see vision and end product of the vision design team. What was more important to them, what rules they set, and what they're trying to accomplish. Oh, sorry, this kind of is more of a question. Whatever, basically design hands it off. From the vision people, they hand it off to the design people who kind of just create they probably take art and like fix it into the names of the cards and their power toughness and all that shit. And set design is, the second part is led by Eric Lauer, pretty much currently too. Set design is responsible for making the set, metaphorically building the house based on vision design's blueprints. This team takes the design from concept to finished product. They're the only ones who field test the ideas and mechanics the Vision team created to see if they work together, fixing or replacing them if they don't. The set design team is then on the hook for designing all the cards. Vision Design creates cards as it iterates, which the set design team can use as they see fit. So set design also seems like they kind of like basically, once they get everything like from card frame set up, these guys are kind of more going like, okay, what flavors are these cards filtering down into, stuff like that, maybe. And then we got your play design, and play design has its own article, which is pretty interesting. It's a 3-month process, and the first 2 months are the last 2 months of the set designs like cycle. So play design is kind of happening as the set's being made, just in case there's probably like tweaks, and then the actual design and play structure of the set is like a 3-month test. I feel like it can go longer, but that's just my critique. What's really cool about this article, we really won't get into it. I just implore you guys to look into it, do your own research. There is a historical stage of design where Mark Rosewater has kind of categorized like Alpha through Alliance, what that kind of era was. There's like eras to this shit, okay? So Magic Eras Tour is part of this article, but what I really wanted to get into, which is just very interesting to me, Dan, maybe you know this, I don't know, is the Council of Colors. So the Sixth Age saw the creation of the Council of Colors. Mark Rosewater and Matt Gottlieb, who act as overseers, and 6 additional members of the design team are responsible for protecting the integrity of the color pie. So it seems like in design, there's members who are part of these separate entities of each color. Like Corey Bolwin is someone who's in design, Megan Smith's someone in design, you know. Daniel Zhu, so the colorless, we'll start from what these things are. The colorless position is a training position, and you can see each name here in the arrow where they started and who followed them up. And then you can kind of follow their name and see where they ended up. Like Jules Robbins was a colorless trainee, but then they ended up becoming a red color pie overseer, and now it's Ben White's. Daniel Zhu is someone that Mark Rosewater and the design team actually, it seems like he's a young man too from China. They're really putting a lot of promise in. He's bringing a lot of, when you click on these names too, when you see what the stuff, their history, it's kind of crazy. So Daniel has designed Murders of Markov Manor, Bloomborough, Magic Foundations, current Amsterdam codename set, and he's been on developing for Wilds of Eldraine, Thunder Junction, Lost Cabins. It's pretty cool just when you click some of these people, what their names and what they do. So Adam Prozac is basically the overseer of green, and his designing and developing stats are pretty stacked. Eternal Masters, he was lead design. Masters 2017 lead design. Iconic Masters, he was part of it. Innistrad Crimson Vow co-lead. So just some of his stats and what he led and co-led is pretty nuts. I did some of this research last night, like trying to get into like who these people were, because I saw Gavin Verhey. We've all talked about him. He's the boy. He is at one time the overseer of the black color pie in design. And each color has kind of its own restrictions. Like, you know, counter spells are almost always going to be in blue. There is some in white, but not always. And if there is, it depends. So I assume these people are kind of the people who are like the final stop of like in design. Like, hey, I don't think that card should be here because it's not fitting to the integrity of the color pie of Magic. So I implore you all, click these names, look into them, and just click again, do your own research. It's just really interesting. I was like really curious about that there's a secret council, so to say, within the design team that is assigned to the colors and protects the integrity of those colors and their strats. Maybe Ben White's is why we have red, or maybe even Sean Main or Jules Robbins. Who was the one that made red decide to exile the top card of your library and then cast him from exile? I used to hate that effect, and now I love that effect.
Probably
I feel like
one of the more broken effects in red.
What?
Probably one of the more broken effects in red.
Yeah, there's that red bird. I think he does that. From Thunder Junction. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm just saying. I wonder in the design team if there's people like that who, like some of the new, like, cause me and Dan, we've been playing Magic a long time. You know the themes of colors and what they do. In the 2020, 2018 era, some of the colors are doing things that are like not traditionally what they used to do. So I'm kind of wondering if that has to do with like the people who become part of the Council of Colors. All right. So that's enough yapping on that. Another article on this wiki I thought was really funny, and if you've played the unsets, you know these cards. There's a player type, Wizards of the Coast, and people who have written articles that just play in the scene kind of have created like memes and jokes and articles that kind of got taken seriously. There's the psychographic profile and there's the aesthetic profile. So the psychographic profile explains why players enjoy the game, but then the aesthetic profile explores what players enjoy of the game and why they think it's beautiful. And you could be both or one or the other. So within the psychographic profile, there's Johnny's, Timmy's, Spike's, and oh yeah, sorry, we're jumping ahead. So within the psychographic profile, you have 3 types. You have a Johnny, a Timmy, and a Spike. So getting into Timmy's are like that card everyone's seen in the unset. Wish we could pull up the card on the hyperlink or whatever. They're basically characterized by their tendency to use big creatures, cast big spells, large exciting plays motivate them. Timmy's are most associated with playing for fun and kill and all kinds of huge creatures, fantastic spells, and mythical enchantments. They're most social archetype, enjoying the interaction that Magic provides. So a stereotypical Timmy or Tammy is usually a younger player with a simple yet fun for them deck. They do not care whether they win or lose, but want to have fun playing really big effects. So in the 90s, a Timmy was kind of like a more nerd who was like, yeah, I'm here to play whatever and I'm winning. I think now it's kind of just changed as time's gone on from the way we like joke about Magic players and stuff, and just how we see ourselves as like a community or like just the people you see across the table. Especially in the tournament scene, these names and archetypes really come from more the shout out Chaos, come from more of the I'd say inner circles of the Magic culture when you really pick a lane to dive in. And Timmy kind of comes more from the 90s culture. So there's a Timmy power gamer, a Timmy social gamer, a Timmy diversity gamer, a Timmy adrenaline gamer, and then me, the Timmy griefers. So there's just different, it's kind of weird, there's like a psychographic profile based off these silly uncards that really go in depth to what people are. There's the Johnny combo player. I've met some Johnny combo players, I've met some Timmys, I'd say. Like, we're gonna speak pejoratively here as like a joke fun way. Spikes, I've met some Spikes. Spikes are the tournament grinders. I'd say, Dan, you're our local Spike. Shout out. You're an analyst. I'd say you're a tuner. You're an innovator, and you're into the nuts and bolts of your deck. And if you want to,
you're like talking me up.
Yeah, I'm talking you up, bro. You focus on the energies and perfecting. I'm reading your zodiac. But a nuts and bolts Spike is someone who focuses their energies in perfecting their own gameplay. They try to understand their own internal flaws and work to improve them. They tend to spend more of their time on limited formats. But I kind of felt like when you have your Halar with your notes, because I have notes too, I kind of get nuts and bolts on shit. These aren't like seriously archetypes or anything, but there's just like, it's funny, when you read them, there are parts of yourself that you see in all 3 of these archetypes that you're like, yeah, I can see that within myself or my friends.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the aesthetic profile, and the aesthetic profile, there's only 2 types. There's Melvins and there's Vorthos. Mel's are people who are into mechanics. They're focused on the craft and design and development. A Mel's characterized for appreciating cards with delicate and interesting interactions, as well as strong mechanics. Melvins appreciate that there are many different elements that have come together to make a Magic card function structurally, from the color pie to the mana system. So they're basically like, oh my god, I love that the blue stuff does blue stuff. And then there's people who I kind of feel like I resonate with, Vorthos, who has kind of like their own larger profile. And a Vorthos is just the uber nerd of Magic. They know everything about the flavor, they know everything about flavored text. Like, I'd say me and Hardcore Ashy are kind of Vorthos players in a way where you could see the art, or you hear the name of a card, or you see the mana cost of a card, and you're like, I already know what the card is off the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? So, Vorthoses have.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dan, you have a Vorthos thing too. So, someone focused on the craft of a creative, like, side of Magic. Once they get in, there's a 2015 article called Vorthos 2015, and this will even go more in depth. But it's just basically, you get your friend or someone who just got into Magic, they just go headstrong, I'll take you on type shit, you know? And, yeah, I don't know. Article's not loaded, but it's, anyways. There's the gamer, they appreciate top-down resonance and in-game flavor. There's the artist, appreciate all visual aspects of Magic. The writer, maybe that is you too, Dan. We're talking about writing and sci-fi and stuff. Appreciate the written copy of Magic. The Oracle appreciates real-world to fantasy world blending via things like cosplay. And then there's the dreamer. Guys, don't take these too seriously. Appreciates anything contribute to the lore of Magic. So I think when you read this wiki and you kind of delve into the aesthetic and the psychographic profile of a Magic player, you're gonna see a lot of resemblance in you and your friends. And as a joke, I was kind of thinking of pack boys who kind of fit like Johnny Combo players and Spikes and Vorthoses and stuff like that, you know?
Be a hilarious role for the Discord.
Oh, if we make these, we could make these roles maybe. Yeah, we could probably do like Timmy's and then like Timmy Power Gamers. I could probably divvy them all out to you guys, but I don't want it to be a bullying thing. But you're right, that would be actually really funny. All right, moving on to the finance portion, and I'm already spoiling the card I wanted to do for the fourth card, honorable mention, but we'll get into that later. So, finance portion is going to be kind of focused on the beginning half of it. It's going to be focused on cards from Universes Beyond, specifically from the Commander stuff, and more so, I believe we got first coming up Bureau Headmaster. If I could spell, was it Bereau? Can't spell. Guys, the streamer can't spell. B-U-E-R. We're leaving this in the episode. E-A-U. Why isn't the... Maybe we have to refresh my browser, but usually it autocorrects, so I'm either spelling something wrong or just goofing. And you guys are watching a man wrong. It's Bureau Headmaster. But we'll skip into card number 2. And then we'll see if we pick it up. Inventory management will be our card number 1. How about that? I have willed it into oblivion. So inventory management is a 2-drop red-white instant from Fallout. And it's a card we saw in spoilers where I said I need it. It's a split-second card, which means as long as it's on the stack, you can't respond to it. You can't activate anything in response to it. For each aura and equipment you control, you may attach it to a creature you control. So like if you play a big creature, something happens where like on your turn, you have equipment spread out and you just play a big creature who's gonna swing bigger, maybe has flying or unblockable, boom. You're gonna throw out inventory management as kind of a final kill to like get in there and maybe hit one player out. Kind of some weird stuff like that. Or maybe like you have like your Celestial Armor out as a card we just pulled, a Jite and like one of the swords of X and X unblockable. You play a big unblockable creature because you're gonna probably kill one of your enemies in a 4-man game or something. Switch it on, attack, swing, boom. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I wanted to shout out. And since it is Universes Beyond and from the Commander decks, it's gonna have kind of a high price. Market average listing on the market is $5.20. $5.54 is what the average listing on TCG is, I should say, sorry. And $5.20 is what people are buying for. So I just want to say, like, I think people are going to be listing this high, and we could see this go to $7, maybe even a $10 instant. Again, it's in red-white, the cards that really do care about equipment anyways. And tying split second on that is just goofy. So that's all I really gotta say about this. Kind of just wanted to sound the alarm. While it does seem a little cheap, and the split between 54 and 20 cents isn't much, that people will just switch day and night on TCG Player and list this for probably $6 to $7. I'm just saying. Just saying. Now, if I can get this card name right, we're gonna have to just type it in Google, copy and paste it. Card number 2 from the Assassin's Creed set, guys. Bear with the streamer. He's doing the best he can. B-U-R-E-A-U. B-U-E-R. I'm left-handed and I mixed my letters up, guys. Sorry, I can't write. Card number 2. This is a fun one. Again, in the red-white colors. Again, we're hitting Universes Beyond. Again, hitting red and white. This time in a creature, human assassin. Equipment spells, you cast one less to cast, and your equip abilities are 1 less to activate. And it's in red white, it's a 2-drop, 2/2 human. This card is dummy. I have average listing going up to $2.46. We can even say that's a $3 roundup. But market is buying at 89 cents. But we have a little update as of November 15th even on MTG stocks, where average listing is $2.96 and market's buying at $2.46. So, I don't know. I just want to say this is kind of undervalued, kind of not seeing a lot of growth as much as you kind of do see it have growth on the charts. It's just because it's new and it's just kind of finding its route. I think, again, this is going to be like the last card where it could creep up from a $3 card to a $5 card or even a $10 card if people so will it on listing it on TCG Player and its availability. Or like upcoming Final Fantasy set, let's say, has equipments that are just dummy thick. This card is going to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? It's actually legal in Modern, Legacy, Vintage, and Commander, which is pretty goofy. If we go back real quick, I don't know if inventory management has the same legality. See, inventory management's only legal in Legacy and Vintage. Dan, I don't think Bureau Headmaster is going to do much in Modern, but do you think a 2-drop like this is, with like the activation stuff, like is good or not?
What's the card again?
Bureau Headmaster. Equipment spells you can cast cost 1 less. Abilities can activate.
No, this is bad. This is bad in Modern. This card's not even good.
That's what I'm saying. It came in a set that has Modern legality, which is kind of weird, but hey man, I digress. All right, we're gonna go into card number 3. This is more for me. This is more who I am. It's from Jumpstart. Naiath of the Dire Hunt. 4-drop human warrior, 2 and 2 green. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, draw a card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3. If you do, double target creature's power until end turn. Creature must be blocked this combat if able. Pardon me. And it's 2 and a hybrid, so it's green-red, so it could be secretly a red commander as well. Even though it's Jumpstart, it's kind of a secret commander, and it's good in werewolves. I used to play this in my werewolf build. We're seeing markets buying at $12.97. Average listing though is $17. We even see kind of the market listing higher at 15 now. What's that, Dan?
It's because of the Wolverine Secret Lair card.
Oh, really? Because you do fight mechanics.
Yep.
That makes sense. So it's going up because of the Marvel stuff. See, we got Packboys Nation on the Pulse of info draw. I was wondering why this was going up. I figured just it's good as a damage doubler anyways. And it's only in Jumpstart. So again, we've talked about it before. Sets that are cards that even if they get reprinted, if they're really good and in only premium sets, they're just gonna hold a good price. I don't really know if Naiath will ever be that. I don't even think she's gonna be a $20 card, but we'll see. We'll see. If she's like a real dummy good engine for a niche Wolverine deck, or it's like CEH out of nowhere, then fine, but that's not for me to decide. Our fourth and final card, which we spoiled at the beginning of the episode, is Rite of Consumption. It's kind of a funny one. I just wanted to sound the alarm on. It's a 2-drop sorcery, black, from Shadowmoor. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sack a creature, and it deals damage equal to the sack creature's power to target player or planeswalker, and you gain life to the damage dealt this way. Legal in Legacy, Modern, Vintage, Pauper, and Commander. I just like this card because it's just funny. It's a sack outlet. It's cheap, and it has just kind of like some value that is like weird that I'm seeing it's going up to $4, $5 on market, with like buying at with the average listing of $2 on TCG Player. So market's buying at almost $5 on this card, which I don't even think that's possible, but average listing is like a $2 card. So the fact that it's even $2 is kind of crazy. And the fact that it's seeing growth. We're not seeing it in any like deck. It's a 97-cent card on the list, so it's not like too dummy crazy. But I think because it's a cheap sack outlet and it does like damage and life, this just might have some good effects for maybe even that Angel that got spoiled, where it's just basically the Sanguine Bond combo. Just kind of activate. Yeah. Because maybe this might be just a cheap activator of that. I don't know.
Random people.
Really wondering. So that's the segment. That's our honorable mention. Let me know in the comments how you felt about that. We were just bulking around trying to get through it all, but hey, I can't spell bureau and I can't write. Who would have thought? I'm not good at math, so I always thought I was good at writing, but we proved ourselves otherwise. So I'm making fun of myself at this point. I digress.